Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's break down the Buckeyes and Nittany Lions. This will be the full breakdown where we just talked about this game only. Welcome back to TBM Sports. I'm Mark, and I hope you guys are all doing well as we have a jam-packed, exciting college football Saturday. Hopefully you guys aren't watching this at a tailgate as we do have a noon kickoff. I don't know why the hell they do noon kickoffs in the college sports. I understand it, but Jesus Christ, the kids are still hungover from the party last night. You got fans traveling in. I'd be at this game if it wasn't noon. If this was a whiteout here at Happy Valley, 7 o'clock, my ass would be in the stands. And that's just kind of where we're putting it at. Not a Buckeyes fan. Am from Ohio, right on the border there. So a lot of Penn State love here where I'm located. So this one is a fun game to watch. And pretty much everybody in my family is an Ohio State fan for the most part. So kind of sit there and we play the kind of that evil stepchild that we have like on a Christmas morning or something that just kind of keeps his mouth shut. So anyways, we'll get into the picks. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little kind of fun story to get going. But for me, this is an interesting one because James Franklin in this series historically has been absolute utter. It's been a train wreck. Okay. And there is a narrative where we're going to go down in this video where I do talk about the fact that for both of these coaches, it may be more important to the coaches and their job security than actually getting into the playoffs. Okay. So that's kind of how I feel about it. All right. Because I think but there is a avenue where both of these teams, okay, if losing this game, they still get into the playoffs. And that's kind of the issue I have with a 12-team format is, it's different when your back's up against the wall. You get better competition. But yeah, Penn State drops this game, runs the table. They're in. Ohio State wins this game. And this is my problem with the Big Ten scheduling and why I'm not a fan of how the Big Ten does things because of the top heavy kind of nature of the conference. This year it's a little different. We get a little bit of love from Indiana, Minnesota. It's a different brand of football and they play by different rules. And that's why I'm not really a fan of, the BCS system. Well, I actually was. I shouldn't say that. I actually think the BCS works, and people just kind of are hating on it. But because they had 2 out of 25 years, it was absolutely the complete wrong outcome. So I don't know. I digress. I just want to share with you guys a little backstory in this game. Ohio State coming in laying 3 points on the road. This is one where I think that this whole Fox noon kickoff thing, whoever's pulling those strings financially, really does the college football world a disservice that this is not a whiteout. One of the best things I think in the college football, and if you're into nostalgia, I mean, we've taken so much out of it with NLI. There's nothing. There's few things that are still kind of preserved, and a Penn State whiteout was one of those traditions that we do see on game day. Okay, and that's kind of where I'm getting to. Right, if you're a college football fan, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then stick to the NFL. You'll get the same effect. But college football, it's tainted enough. Let's keep some things kind of in that traditional sense. But this is kind of where we look at 2 banged up offensive lines, 2 banged up quarterbacks. I think that the defensive line and both of these teams are really going to be the storyline. Okay. Can Penn State get to the quarterback? Can Ohio State kind of overperform in this matchup, right? Their big issue against Oregon was they couldn't do that. And that's why Oregon snuck back into the game, second half resurgence. If you watch that game in its entirety, Ohio State shot themselves in the foot. The biggest area of the game and Urban Meyer's kind of specialty was special teams. Okay. You win in all 3 phases, and Ohio State, they did not control the football in terms of handling with possession. They coughed it up too many times, special teams, and special teams, I know was a turnover, but this was arguably, I actually don't know if they call it a turnover. The ricochet off of the up man there within the onside kick that was, call it what you want, but just absolutely outcoached by Dan Lanning. I mean, that has to be a slap in the for Ryan Day. And I'm not a big Ryan Day fan for personal reasons. And that goes for Ohio State as well for personal reasons. But we're separating this because I do like the Buckeyes in this spot. I do like the Buckeyes -3. And I don't think we're going to get too many points. So my best bet for this game is going to be the under 48. interesting kind of backstory. And the reason why I'm going in kind of these directions where we're not talking too much about the numbers is because I think a lot of the backstory actually matters. Okay. And Will Howard grew up a Penn State fan, wanted to play it for Penn State. Do we get a little bit more starstruck, timidness? I can tell you this. I was a baseball player, but when I did play baseball against Notre Dame, there was, a little bit of at bats where I'm kind of like, a little bit starstruck a little bit, and you let a few fastballs go that you shouldn't have. All right, the batter's eye, it just did not work out subconsciously, and I think that you might have that effect with Will Howard. He's going to be motivated though to avenge kind of that ill will that he had in Autzen, where should have got down. They should have kicked a long field goal. A horrible play call. I don't know if it was a stadium noise, the headset. I don't know what was going on with that, but that's in the past. But we need to talk about something that's going on right now because the Nittany Lions offense, in terms of success rate, has been kind of overperforming. Okay. They're top 10 in EPA. Okay. Per play. I think that's a very, very, very strong metric. And that's where the test comes. And that's why I said, guys, it starts with that Ohio State defensive line. If they get to the quarterback, they challenge the injury. I think that Ohio State gets to the quarterback with ease. And I think they will have a fair shot in this game. And if they do win by 3, I expect this one could even get ugly. James Franklin is the big person, though, the big man on campus that we're going to kind of hone in on right here. Okay. Because there is a very interesting stat line and betting trend when we look into this game, and we're going to be talking about it because we do see. Okay, and I'm going to pull up this odds board too because I feel like you guys want something to look at instead of just me talking. But as we look into this matchup, we are going to look at the fact that we look at James Franklin 0-6 against Ohio State in Michigan. Okay, he's handled everybody else, but this is where you look at this game. It's very alarming. Okay. And that's why I think that both of these coaches are in the hot seat. If Ohio State, with the money they spent with NLI, if they drop to 6-2, I don't see a situation where Ryan Day comes back next year. Outside the fact that, now with this playoff system being 12 teams, I mean, what do we see here? I mean, I can tell you one thing: Kirk Cignetti, after this season, is going to be firmly in the mix to be a big time top tier 1 college football head coach. And just being in conference and right down the road, just a few hours away, I could see the case and make the argument that we do get a very attractive offer that would go out to Kirk Cignetti to be the Ohio State head coach if they do choose to go a different direction. But in recent years, and for the history of this rivalry in school, the biggest thing for them is beating Michigan, right? Beating that school up north. And now with the 12-team playoff format, and the way the money is within the playoffs and winning a national championship and making it for the conference, it's become tainted. It really doesn't come down to that as much anymore. So that's where it gets interesting. Okay. Making the case for Penn State, Ohio State offensive line is not good. Okay. They're not good. They're middle of the road. And for a team with the recruits and the money that Ohio State spends, it should be at least in the top 25 in pass blocking. Okay. But they're not. And I think Ohio State definitely has the stars in this game. They have the star power. I just don't know how much that they're going to be able to use it against this Nittany Lion front at home, raucous environment. There's going to be a lot of red in the scarlet in the stands, but I still think that Ohio State -3 is the play. Penn State's defense has been one of the top defenses in the country. If you want to look and really dive into this game more deep than just me saying that, Penn State, the only thing that really worries me and concerns me is giving up 30 points to USC, handling Illinois, UCLA, Kent State, Bowling Green, West Virginia. They had a scary game against Bowling Green, probably the best team in the MAC for my money. I think Ohio State gets them here. I think they are able to score points. I don't really trust this Penn State defense in terms of the numbers. I think that this line's wrong. I think this is a playoff of Ohio State being a one-loss team and struggling against Oregon and handling their front. Okay, but this is something where you look at this. It's going to be, if this game was in Ohio State, this would be a completely different number. Talk about how much home field advantage actually gives you. I don't know, but in terms of this, I think it's definitely impacting this, and we do get Ohio State on a discount. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to talk about here is we talk about kind of the defenses of both of these squads and the potential for a letdown spot for Ohio State. They struggled against Nebraska. We saw Penn State kind of struggle against Wisconsin initially. Thought Wisconsin was a +6.5, going to be a cover there in in Madison. But this is where we look at it in terms of just the fact that both of these teams had kind of look ahead spots last week. So I'm not going to use that too much into this handicap. And for me, guys, the two sides that I'm on is Ohio State -3, and I love the under 48. You can find a juiced up 48 in the market, and that's where my best bet will be, taking the under 48 for this game. All right. So that's kind of what I got. We went through a lot of things in terms of the numbers. Like I said, the biggest story and kind of the key to this game is going to be both of these defensive lines. Which one prevails, I think, allows the offenses of their respective teams to kind of get down to it. I just don't see the Nittany Lions running with tempo. I think that Drew Allar's injury is more concerning than Will Howard's, and I just trust the playmakers on the Buckeyes to do their job a little bit better than Penn State. So for me, give me Ohio State -3 and the under 48 as my two best bets. Appreciate you guys. Good luck with your picks. Enjoy it. We do have a full breakdown of the whole college football slate where I have my best bets for this Saturday. That is posted. So make sure you guys all check that out at the end of this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. And we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.